Hello, welcome to another video from the Fantasy Legion. I've got Sean with me. You all right, Sean?
It's good to be back. Yes, thanks, Al. You?
Yeah, good. We're talking about rookies again this morning. And the first one we're going to talk about is a guy I was particularly high on, and I'd mentioned to you when we were watching tape together. I was a really big fan of his. And he's actually, his landing spot, he's landed with the Colts, pick 2, round 2, Michael Pittman, Jr. I sort of really tried to sell him to you when we watched the tape because I was just blown away by his actual tape, his highlights.
Well, I think you have. I mean, in recent drafts that we've both been in Dynasty-wise, he's fallen to the back end of the first round. We're in some quite largest leagues, which will come as no surprise to the audience that follows us. They're often 14 or 16-man leagues. He's great value down there, isn't he? About 114, 113, 150.
Yeah, he's between 113 and 116, isn't he, really? But
yeah, and I mean, I think that's great value, and I think his landing spot was absolutely perfect for him with an opportunity to shine almost immediately. The Colts are a team that's moving forward in the right way, so there's a great chance for him to establish a role here. Now, there's every chance he could also, it might not work out for him, but I think this is a great opportunity, and for Michael Pittman, who's a real fighter, another one of these scrappers who goes after every ball, I think he should suit the team really well, and I think he fits in. It's a good pick from the Colts.
Yeah, I mean, he's 6'4". He runs a 4.52 40. Because obviously we got the quarterback's going to be probably Rivers this year. We don't know. He's only signed a year deal, so is that a plus for Pittman or not? Because obviously after a year, we might move on to another quarterback then. So, you know, he could have a chop and change at quarterback, and Rivers isn't getting any younger. How does this sort of affect his value? Because you've got to think about these things. Dynasty is long term normally.
Well, I think the thing is what we've kind of seen is an evolution. This is a good. I'm glad you brought it up. Really, it's an evolution in the NFL game at the moment, and that's an evolution in terms of salary capping and an elevation in the way teams are approaching their quarterback problem. We could argue that we've had 2, maybe 3 very good quarterbacks, 3 actually, sitting out on waivers, if you will, as Jameis Winston, Cam Newton, and Andy Dalton up till the other day when Andy got signed.
By the Cowboys as well.
By the Cowboys. And nobody wanted to come in and offer these guys, and they've got triggerman issues, none of these guys a job. And the reason being, I'm not saying, Jameis Winston, because he did 30 interceptions, that's the reason he didn't get a job. He did throw 30 touchdowns. So there is certainly a quarterback there. There's a better quarterback than some of the ones that are playing. I mean, we could argue that any 3 of those would be better than Pittman, surely, right? So there are reasons why teams haven't gone in for these players. And I would argue in Pittman's case that as much as, Rivers might only be there a couple of seasons, in that 2 seasons, that might be effective enough. And quarterback changes will come quickly because it's likely to come through the draft. And if I'm honest, I think the Colts have already tagged their man for the future, really. So we'll see. I think there's time. They've got plans. And I think, quarterback changes happen really quick in the NFL. And wide receivers can go from hero to zero or zero to hero. So it could massively improve him, not be a negative.
Yeah,
with a team with a good line and a good running game, be good for the trigger man.
It seems that every time we talk about these rookies, we talk about how exciting the offense has come. And the Colts are no exception. They've got Jonathan Taylor at running back, behind a good O-line with Quentin Nelson and everything. And they've got Pittman. Yeah. So they've got some nice young pieces now. Obviously, T.Y. Hilton's still knocking about.
And they got Paris Campbell.
Again, I'm looking forward to watching them.
And they got Paris Campbell, who got his injury. He had an injury-shortened rookie season, so we didn't get to see very much of him at all, which is a real shame. So there's some real talent in that team, which will iron itself out this season. So I think any trigger man going in there within the next couple of years is going to have a really good opportunity to shine, and that could be anybody. The Colts are a team that, they've got a couple of things in their favour. The cap space is good. They manage the team well. They've got some good building pieces. I would feel fairly hopeful for his opportunity, Pittman. He's got no reason why he couldn't shine year one. And I'm not saying huge numbers. I'm just saying he can shine and show us that he was a good wide receiver in this class. And we did pick him out for the right reasons. Particularly, he was a fan of yours. I picked him a couple of times down in Dynasty. That's how much I believe in him. And I'm excited for his opportunity.
I mean, he's got to get a few red zone looks as well because he's 6'4". T.Y. Hilton, very different player, more of a speedster, smaller. You know, obviously a good player, but he normally gets feasts on yards, Hilton, doesn't he? Rather than
yeah, and I mean, if you look at it logically, T.Y. Hilton, if you were to put, you know, we have to be honest here. I mean, you know, is T.Y. Hilton on my, you know, red flag list? Well, I mean, it will come no surprise to the audience watching this. Of course he is. I mean, how many years now are we going to debate whether he's going to be healthy? I mean, there's, you know, it's no logic tells you that there's a very good chance for the wide receivers behind Hilton. They've got a great chance for this year. I mean, it really have. Whether Hilton starts the year okay, maybe he has another, you know, typical T.Y. Hilton kind of year, but I think those years are a distance behind now. And you are dealing with a
passing year as well. With every passing year for Hilton, and he picks up another injury, it's going to take its toll at some point, isn't it? You feel?
Well, they do. I mean, the thing is no matter what anybody thinks about previous injuries, you know, they do take their toll on a player. I mean, you know, I can only speak as an ex-player, but I know myself, you feel them. Even now, I still feel them from time to time. You get there's a tweak you know where it's come from. So, you know, these guys are playing at the highest level. They're picking up, they're playing at a 16 games /17 potentially, 16 game season. You know, you don't play that season unhurt. You know, you just don't. You will have a knock somewhere along the line. You have to deal with it. And the best players do. You know, and that's something, you know, we can easily forget that when we watch them on telly. They play tough. So it's going to be really interesting for Pittman, who has a real opportunity in this offense, is really where I'm going. And I'm excited.
Well, I mean, that is why Andrew Luck retired in the end, isn't it? He was always rehabbing. Yeah. He was always getting injured, rehabbing. You know, I think he had a punctured lung or something, didn't he?
What's the paradigm shift? You know, we talk about Andrew Luck in a paradigm shift video. It is a video I would highly recommend because it has created a shift in the NFL's consciousness. And this is no different. We're seeing now these trigger men not being targeted by teams, not going in there and madly pushing 50 million, 60 million across the table. No. They're playing a more measured approach. I'm sure if New England wanted to, they could go after a Cam or any of these guys, really. But they chose not to for many reasons.
Well, that's why I offered on one of our other videos when we're talking about has Aaron Rodgers been thrown under the bus by Green Bay? Aaron Rodgers, is he actually fully on board with this pick? Because, you know, maybe he's only got a couple of years left. He's been going through injuries, it seems, every year. He's not getting any younger. Maybe he said, "I'll do it. Give it another couple of years, and be a lot." And that's why he might be on.
I think it's a video we should do. So I think people want to see that.
We have done about the Aaron Rodgers part at least, haven't we? So that's there if you want to go and watch it as well. So, but Michael Pittman, what are his strengths? You see, what do you like about it when you watched him? What are his strengths and
What's really won me over is three parts. The first thing is I like the way the guy hustles and fights for the ball. For me as a quarterback, that's a big thing because he really goes after it. He makes contested catches and he's particularly dangerous in the red zone. I like that. I also feel he presses hard for defenders, pushes them back quite hard and uses his size and strength well. Not afraid to hand fight those first few yards. These are important qualities because you are going to find in the NFL level, you're going to face a lot of defenders pressing down, pushing you, trying to use the rules, if you will, flirt with the edge of the rules to their advantage, knocking you off stride. So I like that. And the other thing I think that fits well for him, the final quality to his game, big heart. Plays with a big heart. That is immeasurable in my when I evaluate a player. It gives them a huge tick. So, you know, if a player, you know, again, is going to come out of somewhere, the back end of this list, where you look back in a year and go, wow, that wide receiver did much better than people thought. He's one of those candidates because he plays so hard. You know, from day one, training camp, right the way through, I think he'll find a way to force his way into many situations. And I think his offensive coordinator will be very hard-pressed to keep him off the field, which is a great quality to have as a player.
Okay, well, there you go. That's Michael Pittman. Also, I'd like to say to you guys watching the fantasylegion.com, which is our website, we're actually putting rookie profiles up all the time. They're already there with their measurables. They're 40 times, all their stats from college. If we will be doing videos on probably nearly every one of them. So if you want to check that out, it's totally free. You can
And will the link be in the description now?
The link will be in the description. It's
Fantastic.
fantasylegion.com, so it's very easy to remember. So, check that out if you can. If you've liked the video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more videos on rookies. So, if you got your drafts coming up, check them out. Also, you can also check player highlights out on YouTube. But, if you want to look at your Pittman and see what we're saying about his highlights. I mean, we're nothing to do with Just Bombs, but I recommend Just Bomb Productions. They're quite a good highlight reel to watch. So, quite enjoy that quite a lot. So,
Great stuff.
Thank you, Sean. It's good to hear your thoughts as always. And thank you all for watching.
Thanks, Al.
See you next time.